Good afternoon and welcome to the next in the series of Successful Introvert Workshop. My name is Brian Johnson. I'm the host and it's really great to be here again. Just a brief introduction about who I am. So I come from a background in 30 years in financial services, and for many of those I really struggled as an introvert to find the success I want, understand what I needed to do to be myself, and struggled with the self-confidence of always being told to be different from who I am. And it took me a long time to figure out the path to success, how I can find the happiness and fulfillment in the work environment and be true to who I am and where my strengths lie. And through the last few years, I've been on a bit of a transformational journey, realizing that what I was enjoying most was quietly helping other people find the success and sharing my skills and experience. And now I really do that full time. I really learned to find the confidence to be who I am. And that's really where we're focusing on today. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? That's really the big challenge as an introvert. Because we can be surrounded by loud people in work and in our social environments. You expect them to be like us. Well, why aren't you like me, is what they're saying. And they say, well, why don't you talk more? Why don't you speak up? Why aren't you doing this? And that's them just being trapped in their own world, their own bubble. This is what the world should be like. I'm giving you space to see how your world bubble forms, and instead of trying to merge the bubbles, just bounce off. Use that energy to bounce off. Personally, I'm not a great fan of small talk, and put me in a large social events, and my initial feeling in walking to a room of 50, 60 people is that sense of overwhelm. What do I do here? And knowing that is sort of catching that, okay, what can I do here? You become a question rather than a sign of aspiration, things we can do. Yeah, I don't like being the centre of attention. Doing presentations to large groups is not my actual environment. I love sharing my knowledge to small groups, and that's really what I do. So how will you believe in yourself? So what do you really believe in when you talk about yourself? Someone I can talk about how I stutter and I stammer, which I notice more than other people, to be honest. All the conversations I had, so that's part of who I am. So who do I believe I am? Who I am? I know I am. I know my strengths. I know I'm really target focused, and that really motivates me. I know I'm great at problem solving. Give me a problem, and I probably sat here thinking of 3 different solutions to it before you finished. But that's just the way my brain works, the logical structure of my brain. That's really one of my strengths. Each of us got different strengths. I can quietly listen and sit there and listen to you for ages, and in a very non-judgmental way. And I guess that's where I see a lot of my strengths. I am always that safe pair of hands to get the job done, no fuss. I'm not going, Kiwi, I'm over here, look at me. I'm going, job done, okay, what's next? So that's really the strengths, and notice who your strengths are. It's important to list your strengths. So I was just thinking about my strengths there, and the things. Now, I will find creative solutions to problems. Often, I love pushing around. Fixing stuff. I guess it's something I picked up from my dad. But if something breaks, you're thinking, oh, how can I fix that? What can I do? What have I got lying around which I can use to fix something? Or how do we solve that? What is the best solution? I'm naturally thinking one step in situations, and sometimes I need to slow down and let other people think. Just knowing that's a strength, and actually I'll get on and get stuff done. Yeah. So you get given some work, volunteer or paid work, and you have to do something, it gets done, and you don't have to worry about that. I want you to look, I've done it. There it is. It's just getting on. Notice where your strengths are. What do people appreciate? What do you appreciate? Are you good with your hands? Are you good? Are you a creative writer? Are you great at spreadsheets, solving complex mathematical problems and correcting programming? Whatever you do, what are your strengths? Yeah, a smiley face, which people just puts people instantly at ease. Where is it you make that big difference? You make a big difference in the world around us. And it's just noticing, just by being there. Sometimes just by being the calm, quiet person in the room, you just tone down conversations. It's noticing your impact on others. It's not often what we say, it's what we don't say that makes a difference. Just sitting here noticing and reflecting on actually how non-verbally communicate in a situation, and let people know they should be changing their behaviour without saying a word. That's really a strength. So what do you see there? Just now and thinking about it, these things are important. You want to change how you feel about yourself, you need to be focusing on your strengths, thinking about your strengths. We all have strength. Starting to think of stuff. Just work your way through your day. What have you done so far today? What are your greatest achievements? The moment you woke up, the moment you started watching, what have you achieved? We've all done something. And then for me, the next step is really actually move on. See how your strengths relate to the powers they criticize. For example, the things that hurt our self-confidence. Why don't you speak more up in meetings? But you can throw that back. If I spoke more at a meeting, who would speak less? How much longer would the meetings last if I spoke up? What more would be achieved if I spoke up? So changing, passively absorbing the negative and you reflecting it back in a positive way. And so, for instance, and I've worked in offices where a lot of the guys like to socialise at lunchtime. And they go out, a quick beer, and it needed somebody to stay in the office manning the phones. Okay, I don't like that's not my socialising in groups of 20 odd people. So me being in the office, I am. If I wasn't in the office, who would be there? I'm recharging in a quiet office, getting things done. You're socialising. So me not being as sociable in your way enables you to do what you want. I do what I want. It's a win-win situation, me not being sociable. And that's the whole point, is just working through those events. So not going out after work, that means I'm rested and recharged for the following day and I'm more productive. That's the way I work. And it's noticing why it's reflecting the criticism, it's putting it through a positive filter. Criticism, right? How do that criticism relate to my strengths? Everything you get criticised about is always a strength. You can reflect back, and you can see. It's worth spending some time actually thinking about it, noticing. When someone says something which you feel affects your self-confidence, thinking about what is it I do which makes that positive. This is where your imagination comes in. We all have an imagination. Sometimes you have to find it, you have to remember where it is. That's really thinking about it. And you often want people to be like us. Criticism is a pure reflection of them saying, why aren't you like me? I want everyone to be like me. But understanding the value of diversity of approach and behaviour is where we really add value. It's thinking about that added value. Would the office really function better if everyone was an extrovert? Buying for airspace. Does it make meetings more productive? Would it make the office more productive? Make the team work better? Does it need that balance? You bring a different perspective, a different thought pattern that actually adds real value. And this is really an area to think about. How we respond to criticism. We have a choice. Let the criticism come in and drain your self-confidence. Or you can put a filter in there. So, ooh, I like being like this because I bring this value to the office, the workplace. And it's making that difference, it's noticing. And it's not whether you're introverted or extroverted. I sit here noticing how my energy levels change and how I have to manage and engage my energy levels in speaking. I'm never going to volunteer to do an hour's talk in front of people because that's not where my strength is. We in a type of small group, one-to-one engagements, one to handful, and that's really where you'll see me thrive. 3 or 4 people, and that's really I want to be. So that's really where it really respond to criticism that I don't talk enough. What is enough? When would you know to stop? Would this workshop be better if I talked for an hour or 20 minutes? That's who I am. I see, must get the value focused on it. Why are we adding value? What are we really doing that's going to make it? But I think as we move on today, it's really thinking about what you have learned. How are you looking at your self-confidence? Are you going to make a choice to change how you absorb this criticism? You're too quiet. I wasn't quiet. How would that impact you? What would be different? Throwing back open questions around what would be the impact? What would you gain? And that's really important because knowing what they actually mean gives you that power. Then you have power because you have the power to listen, not to so focused on hearing them. And by reflecting back what they've said in such a way, you need to speak up more in meetings. What would happen if I spoke up more in meetings? You would understand what they want. Therefore, you can find a way to deliver what they want in a way which uses your strengths. Is meeting the only environment you can exchange ideas, or is it alternative ways which are more productive? And you make the meetings more productive and engaging. Good question. I think today is really getting you thinking. You can make a difference. How will you reflect today? What step will you take different going forward? This is a powerful subject, something I'm really interested in. And thanks really for taking some time to listen. I'd love to know your thoughts and what changes you're going to make. I'd love to understand where you're coming from and where I can really add value. I spend a lot of time listening to people and thinking about different ways forward. You end up with lots of ideas, and it's just trying to condense those into something I can get over in 20 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed it today. I hope you listened. If you've got any comments, do get in contact. You can email me at brian@brianpauljohnson.com, or you can use the QR code to book some time in my diary if you want a one-to-one. Always happy to have a chat and see where I can help you going forward. I do run 3-month training courses, and if you want to find out more, get in touch and we can see where we can go in 3 months, how we can start transforming your lives and get you on a different course. You fix on the vision of where you want to be. I'd love to hear from you. So have a great week, and I hope to see some of you next week.